Hi, welcome to my story number 26. You might assume that my deciding to follow Jesus in high school would have caused me to be the perfect student, always well behaved, doing what the teachers asked. I would have thought so too. However, it often seemed to get me into trouble. In fact, it even got me banned from the high school library. You see, as a senior studying for our high school certificate, we were allowed to go into the library and utilise a special area for quiet study or discussion. But for me, that privilege was revoked, and it was all because of a book. One day, I came into the library, sat with the other seniors, and then said, "Psst, guys, do you want to see my book?"
Oh, why would we want to look at your book, Sears?
'Cause it's the most banned book in the world. In fact, in some countries, if they find you with this book, it could mean the death sentence. There are some people who'll do anything to stop us reading this book. And you know what? I've got one with pictures. It was an all-boys school, and I had their attention. It was also the bestseller. In fact, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, it is the best-selling book of all time, selling over 6 billion copies. Which isn't surprising when you consider that it was the first book ever to be printed on the very first printing press in the West.
So show us the book, Sears.
But I've also got to tell you, it is the most translated book in the world, being translated in over 600 languages. It's also the most quoted book in history. Yes, even Shakespeare quotes from this book.
Oh, I bet it's religious, isn't it, Sears?
Yes, it has religion in there and also stories of genocide, adultery, incest, rape, murder, fraud, wars, double crosses, massacres, executions, almost every bad thing you could think of. Its pages are literally dripping with blood. And I suppose I'm cheating a bit because it's actually not one book, it's 66 books bound into one and written over a period of over 1,000 years. And then I put it on the table, my little copy of the Bible. And then I found out firsthand that it was also the most controversial book. For even in high school, it seemed everyone had an opinion on it, even those who had never opened it.
It's full of contradictions. It's full of fairy tales.
It's been corrupted.
It changed my life. The discussion became a bit heated, and soon the librarian came around and said, "Shh! Why are you boys making so much noise?
Sears has brought in a banned book, miss."
Hand me the magazine, Sears." I handed her my Bible. "You do know that we have a number of copies in the library, don't you, Sears?" "Yes, and I'm surprised they're not always out on loan." "Maybe it's because it's the scariest book in the world. It certainly scared the hell out of me." "No." She rolled her eyes. It became my habit, whenever I came into the library after that, to place my Bible on the study table. It seemed that at some stage someone would make a comment and a discussion would ensue. The problem was the discussions frequently got loud and the library teacher would burst in and tell us to shh. Ultimately, she took me aside and told me that I was causing too much of a disruption and that she was banning me from the library. I understand that I was the only guy ever to have been banned from the library in his HSC year at Sydney Tech High School. Yes, this book is controversial. It's also influential. Some would say the most influential book in history. Abraham Lincoln was probably the most influential president of the United States, and he said this, I believe the Bible is the best gift God has ever given to man. All the good from the Saviour of the world is communicated to us through this book. In Europe, there is no doubt that Napoleon was a man of incredible influence, and he said, "The Bible is no mere book, but a living creature with a power that conquers all that oppose it." Gandhi was no doubt the most influential man in the history of India, and he said, "You Christians look after a document containing enough dynamite to blow all civilization to pieces, turn the world upside down and bring peace to a battle-torn planet. But you treat it as though it is nothing more than a piece of literature." When I would tell my kids this story, it was because I wanted them to read the Bible. I even taught them a song. "The best book to read is the Bible. The best book to read is the Bible. If you read it every day, it will help you on your way. Oh, the best book to read is the Bible." Have you read the Bible? It really is the best book to read. See you in story number 27.